my
Weird.
display monitor. Because I was just about to check on YouTube if it is airing right now.
It's streaming on YouTube in like 2 minutes.
Oh, you set up a premiere. Okay.
I set up the premiere. Yeah, go onto our YouTube page, and it's there.
Okay, I'm on your YouTube page.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's saying it's that. Let me shut the camera off and see if it comes back.
It's playing.
Yes.
It's playing. That's cool.
Yes. See, now you can add graphics to this stuff next time, and it can personalize it and like do that.
How do I do this?
Help pump up your YouTube page too at the same time. Let me shut the camera on and see if it comes back.
Yeah, hold on. It's playing. That's cool.
I can hear.
This is cool.
I could hear the replay in my headset. Well, this is a great experiment for me too, because I've also been wondering if I should do it on here, Twitch, with something in the future. So, you know.
All right.
Both learning on the fly.
Okay. So we're now going to share.
Yeah, let me get the YouTube.
Sweet.
I'll get the YouTube link out on my channels here.
Yeah, I'll post it.
Oh my god. There's 2 people watching right now. Although it could be just me with one of them, but.
Dad doing it. There you go. What the fuck happened? What the fuck is 3-2 Buffalo? Dan's gonna get mad. Islanders are losing 3-2 to the Buffalo Sabres.
Uh-oh.
Is it playing? Are we live?
Should be.
We are live.
I was able to see myself, so I had to mute the stream so I could.
Sure. Just making sure. Yeah, we're live. That's cool. All right, that's awesome. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is go on to the record section because we can do this crap.
Yes.
All right. And then once the stream is done on YouTube, we will get the actual video portion out on YouTube. Yay, because technology.
All right. Well, actually, what it'll do, it should.
Yeah, it's gonna bring it over.
Yeah, because I mean, it'll look weird. You maybe be able to edit. I have never done live streams on YouTube, so this is all new for me. But you know, still learning for me. I'm liking it. All right, it should be shared all over the place now. But I'm ready for this. Ready for this. That's good, OJ.
Ooh.
It's not really OJ, but you know.
All right. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready, Freddie, man.
Okay. I don't have a
ready
drink, but fuck it. Let's go.
Let's
3,
do this.
2, and then 1. Okay. We are live. Are we live?
I mean,
We
I'm
are
looking, we're
live.
live.
This is good.
We're live.
This is
We
good.
are live.
Because
Live,
I
we're
have the
enthusiastic.
YouTube stream on my phone right next to us. We have, Zach is here. I am here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first official YouTube streaming of the Sports Cave, part of Time to VS Podcast Studios and the Unhinged Sports Network. It was an interesting way to come up with this crap. Time to VS Podcast Studios, because. But how you doing, Zach? How you been?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm doing pretty well. Post draft and feelings, that is. Life's all right. Just kind of ended my weekend on a good note.
Life is all right. Life is good. Life is good in the world of Zach.
Yeah, you're hitting right on the head.
Life is good.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well, man.
Not too bad, despite having only 3 picks in the draft.
Well, that's what happens when you have to get all those trades in,
Hey!
Win now.
Exactly the
Win,
point.
win now, think about it later.
Win now, think about it later. I mean, they can do it, but yeah, the draft is over the weekend. Was over the last few days. As we're recording this on a Monday, it was on Saturday, Friday, and Thursday. So 3 of the last 4 days we had the draft for the National Football League. Your Chicago Bears. You're one of the very few people I know that is not sold on the Justin Fields draft pick, if you want to put it that way.
Well, let me clarify why I'm like
pesky
that.
Bears fan. Let's see what we got here.
Pesky Bears fan. I'm going to call it a stubborn Bears fan, a Bears fan that has not trusted his organization as of late. Look, I am cautiously optimistic. That is what I'm going to give you. Yes. I am not going to be a guy that comes on and says that on a drop of a hat, I'm instantly swooned towards we're winning the NFC North. We're a playoff team that's true contender, like some people have talked online. I am a guy that you need to show me the product on the field. Yes. I think Justin Fields can prove it, but I'm trying to be realistic is what I'm doing. And I'm also a guy that, maybe skeptic just because, the Bears are a cursed organization with quarterbacks. And I know that Justin Fields is this athletic freak in nature. And
it doesn't help the Ohio State curse is going with him too.
Well, that's something else to me. I want to see him prove to me that he can read. I mean, credit, it also is based on how Matt Nagy structures the offense. We get that. But I want to see the guy make progression and show that it's not Ohio State's system that, made it easy to show and look reads, which I don't think it is that. But, I want to see the proof of concept on the field because I kind of got overly excited when I was getting hyped on Mitch Trubisky, and, this is what happened. But Justin Fields, I think, is more proven anyway. I am cautiously optimistic because there is more for Fields to be on the upside for. I'm just telling you as a Bears fan, I got to be really it's dipping my toes in the water. I'm not jumping in with a cannonball,
It doesn't help that, you gave up the draft capital that you gave up to the Giants to go up to, what was it, number 11? It was the 11th pick, right?
We have 9 spots, gave up a first round next year, so got to deal with that. But, the thought is hopefully...
So you almost have to win right out of the gate for what you gave up. You have to give up... It's not as much as you gave up with the Khalil Mack trade, because, that was 2 first-round picks for a borderline Hall of Fame player.
Right.
So I completely get it, the desperation, and also, you haven't had a Pro Bowl quarterback since 1985.
Right. Well, and even then, like Jim McMahon, I think that was more of a Pro Bowl not because of the...
And Jay Cutler was the best quarterback statistically in your franchise history.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
Yeah, he holds many records as well. Even though he was in, obviously injuries kind of hurt his chances of a career. Obviously, the mantra that he gave off didn't help him either. And again, like I was mentioning, Jim McMahon Pro Bowl, but you can also argue that '85 Pro Bowl was mainly because the team was just that special. So people just kind of rallied behind him for the punk attitude he was giving off.
Yeah.
So the Bears really. I mean, if you want to go as far back as Sid Luckman as a true Hall of Fame quarterback, that's really, I think, the benchmark we're looking at. And Justin Fields, to me, has everything that I think should make sense to say this is a guy that can legitimately change a franchise.
Yes.
I want to say that I am sold on that, but I'm just, as a Bears fan, I've been beaten and battered by terrible QB play where I'm like, you got to hit the field. I will not fully sell myself until come August when I see preseason play and I get to watch the kids sling the ball on an actual turf with NFL talent as well as I
will not be cursed and forced to suffer with the red rifle.
It's just the Bears fan
Dalton.
in me.
I will not be forced to suffer through Andy Dalton's bullshit.
It's just the Bears fan in me. That's all it is. But I love the draft. Like Fields overall, I'm happy about. Okay,
I can't blame you on that one.
I did tell people I could come off as a wet blanket, but I'm overall happy. Tevin Jenkins helped me with that too. Tevin Jenkins helped.
He was a first-round pick. He could have been a first-round pick.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, people thought that the Raiders reached and they should have gone for Jenkins instead of Leatherwood at 17 if they wanted a tackle. So,
True.
He could have definitely been first rounder. And it's amazing that the Bears even had a chance to trade up to pick up Tevin Jenkins. So
shout out to Tony, by the way.
I'm happy. Zach. Look, Tony lives vicariously through me on. No, I do not love
shout
the Red
out to
Rifle.
Tool,
Tony's
by the way, vicarious.
He lives vicariously through me with his love for Justin Fields. Like we've talked on chats, I'm definitely a guy where it's like I said, I'm cautious about it. Like, okay, he's got the intangibles. Tony's like hyped. It's like, yeah, Ohio State product. He's gonna rock it. He's gonna knock this out of the park for the Bears. They got their guy, and I'm just like, they might have their guy.
I mean, you and me are the same because I'm an Islander fan. I expect nothing but disappointment.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've dealt with 20 years of disappointment. I'm not saying that because you've been because you're the Bears and you're like this historical franchise. I'm saying this because I've done nothing in 20 years other than recently.
Yeah, I see. I mean, the Bears for Bears fans, it's spurts. Like you get one good year, and then it goes straight back down to like 8-8 or like 5-11 as a low. I mean, John Fox era.
Oh God,
that in itself. Don't get me started.
What did you think of the Jets draft, by the way? Because I'm wearing their jersey because I think they won the draft.
You think they won the draft?
I think they won the draft. Now,
man, you think they won the draft?
I love their first 4 picks.
Well, I definitely Zach Wilson is definitely someone that I think, this is a QB draft that was so stacked, and I think that his pro day showed so many of the intangibles where it's like he can do it all and throw anywhere.
Yep.
I think it was a great choice. Some people will argue that Fields should have stayed at 2, and it was ridiculous they dropped. And I'm like, you know what? There's a good argument for that as well. But I think that Zach Wilson, he has a chance. And what helped is that the Jets they started drafting pieces after Wilson's
Zach,
pick.
which
that can actually protect the QB, or they can give weapons to throw him his way to where he can be successful.
I'm watching on the stream right now on my phone. The sticking mouse is in the way on the top on the top right corner. My OCD is kicking in like ah!
Oh my God. I'm with you. I've been trying to keep it to where I can like see the chat in particular. But like Tony will say the same thing too, is that when we're on our shows, and even on Beyond the Press Box with my colleague Cody Emerson, you're only as good as Cody says you're only as good as where you get drafted sometimes. And I will say that the Jets did help themselves because Wilson has the cannon, but at 14 they went back up and they got Elijah Vera Tucker.
Love that.
Instant help of the line, which I was like, okay, they have the assets to do it. I'm like, good on them. They needed to do something to shore up that line. And then you go and get Elijah Moore, who slid down into the second round.
How he went to the second round, I have no clue. That's one of those picks that was like, he's a top target anywhere he goes to. And I see his route runs. I'm sure I'm not the only one who says this. I see Antonio Brown. Like
you see okay.
Like younger Antonio Brown. Not obviously cancerous Antonio Brown, but I'm talking like younger AB. When he's like breaking records with the Steelers. Like you see his you see his feet movement, you see the quickness, his elusiveness, you see all of it. And it's scary because he's a slot receiver.
Yeah. I mean, that is a little bit scary to think about. But like any weapon for the Jets helps. You can't trot in the next year with just Jamison Crowder as your only option to throw to. You got to get someone else. Elijah Moore had a lot of hype. Ole Miss is now starting to become giving a presence when it comes to being a receiver school. Thanks in part to one specific Seattle Seahawk. In mind. I'm just saying that reputation sticks after you get one.
Hey, the fact he went down to the end of the second round will ever be one of the biggest mysteries in draft history.
Mm-hmm.
The fact he slid that far and goes to the perfect team.
Yeah, it is amazing to think about. Legendary draft day 2 meeting Pete Carroll. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
So we're gonna get Air Raid Attack podcast. Mike, we're gonna get his Broncos on here. What do you think of their draft?
Lame duck is what I'm describing it as. I thought unless John Elway which I think John Elway is now waiting by the phone some point in June to go after Aaron Rodgers.
John Elway is the president of football operations. George Payton is the GM.
Yeah, but John Elway has just as much say. I mean, look, when you talk the Broncos, John Elway's generally the guy you're talking about that makes the bigger moves. You know,
Let's get to that. Aaron Rodgers. Zach right now, for those watching, is probably thinking to himself, "Please trade Aaron Rodgers."
Oh, I think he's definitely gone.
Please trade Aaron Rodgers.
He is basically. He's basically saying, like,
he said everything but trade me. Mm-hmm. He said everything but trade me. Now, if you remember, Brett Favre was the same shit. Not as bad though.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we can talk about how Brett Favre was. I'm a Brett Favre guy through and through, but like, sorry, but I have 3 Favre jerseys, so.
You're good.
I have Jets, Packers, and Vikings because I can. But I didn't. The second I saw that news that Rodgers could potentially be on the trade block, I said to myself, "Oh no, they did this themselves, did they? They did this themselves. They did the same thing with Favre. They're going to do the same thing to Rodgers." How often do you get 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back? And you piss them off royally, so bad.
You would think that they learned their lesson.
You would think they learned with Favre.
You would think they learned. And you know what? I look back with Favre, and Favre is interesting because Favre kind of baited, I think, the organization a bit with his "I'm going to retire, I'm not going to retire" spiel.
Because it's Brett Favre.
You know, so that didn't help his case. But like Rodgers, this is just straight up like, okay, I'm tired of the organization not picking correctly as of like the last 2 years before this draft.
Petty fucking bullshit.
You know, Jordan Love's sitting there.
It's not like they've gone 13-3. It's not like they've gone 13-3 in back-to-back NFC Championship appearances with the same damn team.
You're right, and they had many chances.
Bullshit.
They had many chances to beat Tampa Bay. I actually thought that they let that one slip away. If you look back at the film,
oh my god.
I mean, they had their shots at least last year. The year before against San Francisco, they just came in and just utterly annihilated them. There was no chance after one half.
That game was over. Tampa, that game was over the second it was announced.
Mm-hmm. Tampa, I think they just came in flat and they couldn't recover in time.
Did the Isles lose, by the way? I'm going to find this out. Keep going.
So Rodgers definitely has had his moments where he could have gone. But I also, like I said, the whole drafting Jordan Love and then that's an irk right there. You know, did you have to draft Jordan Love? No, you really didn't. You know, Rodgers is 36 years old at that time. He, yes, he had a somewhat downish season, but not something that you're like looking at and going, oh, he's over the hill. No, I mean, this was a guy that still was playing at tops in the league. That's why they finished 13-3 and made the NFC Championship game. And then he goes out and plays an MVP season.
Yeah. And
they do the same thing again. You wonder what happens if they don't draft Love there. What if they actually got another weapon? What if they get better on defense because of defensive deficiencies?
They're fine with weapons. They're fine. Valdez-Scantling has showed to be a very good deep threat. Devontae Adams is a top 3 receiver in the game. Equanimeous St. Brown is a very good slot option. Robert Tonyan, and when Jimmy Graham was there, kind of, Robert Tonyan more than Jimmy Graham is a good tight end. They have a top 5 offensive line that constantly gets away with holding calls. Prove me wrong. And their defense has gotten better and better and better. Why the hell would you get away with that? Why?
I mean, I'm just saying. Oh my God. Imagine what you could have picked up besides Jordan Love in 2019 or in 2020. It
confuses the hell out of me. It really does. I never understood.
That's the thing.
I never understood it. I really then, when they drafted Jordan, and they traded up to do it.
They did.
They traded up to do it. That confuses me royally.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as I want to say, oh, the Packers did the same thing with Brett Favre when they drafted Aaron Rodgers. This is okay. And then I remember, oh no, Rodgers is diva-ish worse than Favre.
Yes. Yes, he
God help
is.
us.
Yes, he is. But hey, the other leverage too. He did great on Jeopardy. Sounds like he's serious about about being the permanent Jeopardy host. And he can leverage retirement, which is crazy to think about, but he can legitimately do that. You
Probably.
know, he could
Probably.
legitimately do that if he wanted to. I mean, this is a Carson Palmer scenario, like in
Oh
complete
God.
replay of it. Like
That's the
I want out.
Bengals.
No, I want out. No,
Sorry,
we're not letting you
Jimmy.
go. You know,
Sorry, Jimmy, if you're watching.
yeah. I mean, I apologize. I apologize to Jimmy for that, but I mean,
No,
that's
you
just what
don't.
this is right now.
Yeah, it is. It
That's
is.
exactly what this is.
Watch. He's gonna get traded somehow to the Raiders for Derek Carr and like a couple first-round picks because of John Gruden.
Best case scenario, they do that. Would
They're
suck
not
for.
trading him to the NFC. There's no way they do
Well,
that.
no. I mean, he's not going anywhere in the NFC. I mean, he wants to be closer to home, closer to Hollywood. That's what it all sounds like. I
Okay.
mean, the only three he's listed are Denver, Las Vegas, and San Francisco. But San
Vegas
Francisco,
would make a ton of sense.
3 hours
And
from LA.
it's not even that. It's well, yeah, but it's the fact of one, the Raiders are, if Derek Carr was just as mobile as Aaron Rodgers, is Derek Carr not a top 10 quarterback in this league?
I mean, I'm going to say he's top 15, although I would need to relook at my list on the fly. Derek Carr is a damn good QB.
Yes.
He is playing his best football, I think, right now, and people aren't giving him enough credit for it. Back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons, even with injury last year, mind you. I mean, what can you ask for? I actually wish that John Gruden wouldn't be wishy-washy with him, and that they would just go out and say we're dedicated. No trade rumors or anything.
Yeah, true.
For the Packers, that's the best case scenario. Like, get Derek Carr back. If you feel like Jordan Love's your solution, then I guess you maybe don't play ball with the Raiders. Maybe, in my opinion, I think, like I said, this is why I brought John Elway up. I think Denver is the place that has the most desperation to go for him.
Yes, and you have to because Kansas
City
City
QB in the draft.
Kansas City is going to run amok on that division for the rest of time. And
Right.
Denver, you can argue if they didn't have the injuries that they had last year, are a potential playoff team.
They definitely could have pushed that for the extra seed that was there.
Yes.
I don't know if they would have made 11 wins, but they would maybe 9 or 10.
I did.
Well, okay.
I had them going against Buffalo in the AFC Championship. Who's the crazy one here?
Well, I think a lot of it hinged on Drew Lock, but we haven't seen a healthy Drew Lock, so we don't get that. But look at how the defense has been built with Vic Fangio over there. It's the best unit on the offensive side. Jerry Jeudy proved last year that he has upside that can grow even farther than what his rookie campaign was. Knocked out.
You got me drooling over. Oh my God! Hold on.
Noah Fant, pretty damn good tight end.
Rodgers would instantly have one of the better receiving cores in football if he goes to Denver.
If he went to Denver,
their receivers.
If he went to Denver, it would be the same transformation that happened when Peyton Manning went to Denver. It's a team that has a lot of potential that just needed that one plug. What?
Better? Are we talking better? Because look at the receivers that Denver had as opposed to Denver back then with Denver has
Demaryius
now.
Thomas.
So Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, and Eric Decker, who, by the way, cool guy, by the way. Really cool dude when he was here in New York.
Sure. Yeah, he was pretty. I mean, I always thought Eric Decker got plenty of praise that he needed.
Yes, I wanted him in Seattle. Not gonna lie, but when he was available and decided to go to Tennessee, but then again, his wife. So what can I say? And then you look at Denver's receivers now. Cortland Sutton.
Yep.
Jerry Jeudy. KJ Hamler, who I love.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Patrick.
Yep.
Deshaun Hamilton.
Yes.
Not even get to the tight ends.
Right.
Noah Fant.
No Fant. There you go.
How the hell you pronounce his last name from Missouri? I have no idea.
I'm not going to attempt that.
I'm going to call it Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. Okay.
Because that was the first thing that thought to my mind. Caterpillar.
Okay. I get that.
It's very like South African, if you want to put it that way. Oh God.
Yeah.
It's very kind of, yes. Nigerian to a degree. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm just some dude behind a microphone who decides to talk bullshit. They're running backs. I love the running backs, though.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, you don't have Philip Lindsay, but they picked up Javonte Williams from North Carolina.
Love it.
So there's a weapon right there.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, this is like you're getting the same vibe I'm getting.
And they
like,
got a decent line. They have a good line in Denver.
Yes, they do.
Outside Juwan James, but they have a good line. And they just picked up Quinn Miners from the draft in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
He's either their left guard or backup center.
Yeah.
Instantly. But like
it's complete plug and play. Like I said, you put Rodgers in like you did when Manning was plugged in there back in 2013. I'm telling you, it's definitely would be that much of a transformation. You would have an instant competition in the West between them and Kansas City.
Now the question here is very simple. What would they give up?
3 first-rounders.
Aaron freaking Rodgers.
3 first-rounders.
3 first-rounders for a 37-year quarterback?
Yep. Dude,
they better win the Super Bowl.
I would say Rodgers can play. Rodgers, I definitely could say.
If they don't get to the Super Bowl in 2 years or in a year, someone's losing their job.
I mean, okay, that depends if he falls off, though. Like, I haven't seen any evidence yet that he's fallen off from an MVP caliber.
I got salt in my eye. This is an issue.
I don't know how you even.
I had popcorn.
Oh, did you throw it in your face?
I was watching the Islander game. I was expecting a 5-goal night because of the Sabres, and the Sabres are dog shit. But well, they played better, over the last few weeks. But
right, but I mean, the Islanders are supposed to be one of the best in the NHL right now. So
look at you getting back into hockey. Look at you.
Kind of. You gotta give me some time.
Yes, give me some time.
I'm just now getting up to speed once more, like I used to on the NBA. Let me take some baby steps in the NHL.
Yeah, true. It's me with baseball and with the NBA for me too.
Yeah, I feel you.
But
I'm saying like
rounders.
Yeah, I mean, look, the QB Rodgers, unless I see a fall off anytime, I think you'll get 4 to 5 years out of him. Okay. That is a win now period.
Yes.
That you have the talent to instantly upgrade to where you'll be in playoff contention for that 4 to 5 years. And even then, if they keep building a defense like they did for 2015, you might get to the point where you can have an offense that just needs to score enough. Like this, to me, is setting up to be what it was back when Manning was there.
Okay.
A quarterback that's looking for a second chance to go and burn a team in a different conference or division.
Now,
and
the trick
has
part
the tools
here
to do it.
Is it's Aaron Rodgers and like Carson Wentz was given up for a second and a third round pick to Indianapolis.
Yep.
So I feel like it's the same situation with Denver, but I feel like they can pry Drew Lock to go to Green Bay.
I've thought about that.
Have Jordan Love be the starter or Locke be the starter for at least a few games.
Right.
Because Locke has started in this league for a couple years already.
Mm-hmm.
And give up at least a couple more pieces in return. Whether it be draft picks, players. I mean, you have to think. I mean, Denver would be the most likely spot. Because, I mean, I said this earlier. They could be, without all the injuries they had last year, they're borderline 7 seed in the AFC. I just brain shut down.
Nah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
But I'm very curious to see if this ends up, gaining traction. I mean, you're George Payton. You're the new GM of the Broncos. You're supposed to be this hot shot general manager of the Mile High City. John Elway has, for all intents and purposes, laid off football operations on his part, despite being the president of football operations of the Broncos.
Fair point.
He has laid his hands off Denver football talks and let George Payton do his thing. George Payton would be the hero in Mile High to be like, hey, we got 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in 10 years. How often does that happen? How often?
Not really often.
Not often at all. Not often at all. You got a guy who's coming off an MVP season. You have, a borderline top 10 defense in the league. That gets better with Patrick Surtain and Kyle Fuller in this and the corner position, with Bryce Callahan or Ronald Darby in the nickel. You have good players in Denver. God, a salt in my eye.
Seriously, did you throw popcorn in your face?
No, I was chowing down on popcorn. I guess I didn't wash my hands by accident, so I got salt in my eye socket. Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I find that so funny.
Oh, it's not even it's that fucking it's a cardboard container of salt.
Oh.
That you would get, so it's fine grain.
Okay.
So my eye is burning right now. I need an eye patch, man. I'm about to go gold. Daniel Smooth the Pirate.
Arr.
Oh, man, Jesus. Someone keep going.
Yeah, no, it's good. Look, folks, here's the thing. Denver Denver has the tools. It'll have the capital. And I understand that maybe I was misspoken here with John Elway. But look, John Elway has the ability here to pull out his status and go, look, why don't we make this work? He can come to Denver and help rebuild Denver. And not to mention that they can give away, if they want, say, a Drew Lock. It would be hard. And the other factor is Jordan Love. We don't know how good Jordan Love is. Last training camp sounded like he wasn't really a smoothed out or shapen quarterback yet. So that's a big problem. Oh, my God, Dan.
I'm Solid Snake.
Oh, my God. Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Oh, I got it out, though. I got it out. My eye is better. My eye is somewhat better. I need to see.
You need a wash station in your house. One of those two-sided science class ones that blast water in your face.
I have that. I can find a way to get that. It's going to be difficult to install, but I can find a way to get it.
Oh, sure. Sure.
I have my ways. I do.
Nice.
One thing you should know about me, guys, is that I have my ways in terms of getting certain things. No, bad out of context.
Can I ask you? So you're a Seahawks fan. You had 3 picks. How do you evaluate those 3 picks?
Love them.
Love all of them.
Love all of them. They took. I didn't. For the first 10 minutes, I didn't like the Dwayne Eskridge pick because their biggest need outside of, corner was center. Was the interior of the line. And I love Ethan Posick. I love that kid. But as much as, I can make an argument that Posick is not the future at center, he's the best one that they have.
Okay.
He's their center. He really is. Dwayne Eskridge gives them something they haven't had since, in a long while, probably since Baldwin retired, and that's, you have versatility and speed in the slot position. Tyler Lockett can play in the slot all he wants, but he's a natural deep threat on the outside. DK Metcalf, a natural on the outside. Eskridge, I thank the guys at U Stadium for this, for bringing me on some research, saying that, hey, Dwayne Eskridge is small, but he makes it up with great hands, fantastic hands, and speed. He's got 4.38 speed.
Yeah.
That's fast for a slot receiver. That's crazy fast.
Impressive. That's pretty impressive.
So,
not gonna lie.
I could be wrong with that 40 time, but who knows?
You actually said it right on the nose. 4.38.
Did I really? How about that?
No joke.
That's
4.38 fast facts.
This is what happens when Zach has 2 computers.
Well, look, I'm gonna look up the facts.
You gotta look up your shit, so I'm not wrong.
You think I'm gonna fact check people I'm on?
Okay, look up their 6th round pick, Stone Forsythe, out of Florida. So I could be wrong. He had 406 snaps. Allowed only 2 sacks.
Allowed 2 sacks. You were right on the dot with that. I do out of 513 pass blocking snaps.
Nice. That's even better.
So even better than what you
That's
predicted.
even better.
You know.
But
So yeah, I mean, the Seattle Seahawks didn't have much to go with.
So and Trey Brown, I went to Mike for this because he's the Sooner fan. I went to an RA for this. He's a Sooner fan, and Trey Brown, their fourth round out of Oklahoma, he played primarily in the nickel last year for Oklahoma, but Hugo Amadi, their fourth round pick a couple years ago out of Oregon, is their nickel corner. Even though he's a natural safety, he's their nickel corner. And they got DJ Reed on waivers from the 49ers, who played awesome last year. Mm-hmm. Trey Flowers, he's got size, but he doesn't really make up with it with great corner skills. Akil Witherspoon, probably their fifth corner or fourth at best.
Right.
And Trey Brown is their immediate right corner replacement for Shaquille Griffin. Immediately.
Sure.
He's a probably.
I would assume that's what you're doing.
I would assume so, because Witherspoon sucked last year for the 49ers. He was dog shit and a half. I mean, the only reason he got to Seattle is because he fits your prototypical Seahawk corner. Now, if they wanted to, they could bring back Sherman still. They could bring in Richard Sherman and put Trey Brown in the nickel and, Amadi at free safety. However the hell they will decide to do it. But
right.
I always like, doing NFL previews on this team because you never know. You never know.
I mean, for the Seahawks, the secondary was your weakest strength. So
it's not even that. It's
your weakest asset.
One of the weakest parts of the team. One of the weakest parts of the team because, as much as we give credit to Shaquille Griffin being a Pro Bowler, he did not live up to expectations last year. Mm-hmm. And why Jacksonville gave him that much money, I have no idea.
You tell me,
Jim, if you're watching.
If Jim's watching this here now or later, he'll be like, well, "I'll tell you what. We'll get it in the chats."
Eventually, he'll come back. Eventually, when it decides to join.
But I'm the same way. I thought they overpaid him a little bit in Jacksonville.
You think
for the production that he had last year? Not worth that money. I thought, but it's what you get when at least for Jacksonville, a team that's trying to rebuild real quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes you overpay.
Yeah. I do like, Dwayne Eskridge is their starting slot receiver right out of the gate. Stone Forsythe, I had to contact some Florida fans at U Stadium and be like, hey, is he a right tackle in this league? Is he the immediate starter at right tackle? Because as much as I want to say, Brandon Shell, is the starter, he's God salt. He's immediately the George Fant role as the swing tackle / sixth offensive lineman.
Sure.
I love the Forsythe pick. I love the offensive line the way it is, the way it could be currently constructed. With Dwayne Brown at left, Damian Lewis or Gabe Jackson, great trade by the way. At left at both at their guard position, Posick at center, and Forsythe at right tackle. That's really good. And their off season, as much as we want to give credit, to where credit is due, Russell Wilson still did not, give any of his salary cap away.
That's true.
They brought back Carlos Dunlap. They brought back Kerry Hyder. They brought in Kerry Hyder. They brought in Robert Kimdichie, who brings an immediate depth at defensive tackle. They traded for Gabe Jackson, brought in Gerald Everett. They brought in the guys who they brought in, and they retained the guys who they retained. I still think it's a two-way race in the NFC West, though, between the Rams and Hawks. Arizona's not too far behind. And if they get everything right, but that's the Cardinals. They're cursed anyway. And the 49ers, I mean, if San Francisco plays, like they played during their Super Bowl team back a couple years ago, I mean, they'll be good too. They'll be really good.
For them, it really all depends on how well Trey Lance transitions into the NFL. That is a big factor for me on where San Francisco can land is how well he transitions. Otherwise, I'm going to be honest with you. LA is my favorite in the NFC West at this point in time.
I don't blame you on that one. I mean, I don't blame you on that one.
I mean, as much as they've given away draft picks and such, they've built themselves to where next year they should easily get 10 wins again, I think.
Yes.
And that was with a team that Jared Goff, surprised the Seahawks, unfortunately. Sorry, Dan. And,
they did it to themselves.
Kind of, they were a little lame duck or ran out of gas against the Packers. So,
Yeah. And they could have beaten Green Bay. They could have had,
There were moments. They were within 8. So they had the potential, but Rodgers was on a different level that day. It's in Lambeau. He plays insanely in Lambeau usually.
Usually.
He's at least going to get one.
True. This is a fair point. So before we end the show for today, thank you for everyone who has joined in on the YouTube stream so far. I want to say something. So for those of you who do not know, I do write sometimes for Unhinged blogging. I did some articles on the draft. I did some articles on Russell Wilson trade destinations, yada yada yada, and I did a collab blog with the guys over at Unhinged blogging, giving draft grades for the AFC East, Jets, and the NFC West. So for those on U Stadium, God, this stinking salt is pissing me off. That's what I'm going to call the episode. God, salt.
Lessons learned for next time.
Sodium
Write on your checklist. Lesson 1: don't have salt in eyes before show.
Oh, no shit. But getting to the point. On U Stadium, I've been getting a habit of the last few years doing an NFL preview series where I go in depth as fuck. So here's how I'm usually doing these. I go general manager, head coach, offensive and defensive coordinators, records the last 5 years, draft picks, starting roster, which consists of quarterback, 2 running backs, fullback, 4 receivers, 2 tight ends, flex position, offensive line, and on defense, depends if it's a 3-4 or 4-3, 4 linebackers, 3 linebackers, 3 corners, which are outside and the nickel, 2 safeties. I don't get the special teams because that's too nuts, but I could do special teams this year to make it easier. And then I do, worst case scenario, best case scenario, projected record, division ranking, playoffs, yes or no, and 2 thoughts. So, because I'm on Unhinged blogging, I figured I would not only post it on U Stadium, but with the actual in-depth analysis, but I would also post on Unhinged blogging. So, with the draft in the past, I might as well say it like how it is. I will be doing NFL previews for Unhinged blogging, for the Unhinged Sports Network, U Stadium, and I will be posting them starting... I'll be doing for... Probably I'll get to work on it now.
Okay.
But now, the way I do this is very simple. I go draft order. From, the Jaguars all the way to Tampa Bay for this year. And I do it, and the way I usually want to do it for U Stadium, I can do it better on Unhinged. I'm going to be doing it for 16 weeks, which brings us to probably late August, if I do this correctly.
That should be right up close to the beginning of the season.
Yep, probably the beginning of the season. I will be doing each week, probably, starting next week or 2 weeks from now, an in-depth analysis of division order for NFL previews. I will be getting this going on Time WS Podcast, the Sports Cave, and we'll be doing NFL previews like crazy. So I am pumped to do this. This is going to be great. I can't wait. I already have an entire notes section. I kid you not. So I'm going to go get this. I already have the Seahawks written out, but to show in-depth analysis, every single note, I have each team. I mean, wow. It's mirrored on the stream, but here's the Bengals right here. So I have records last 5 years, the GM, coaches, draft picks. I'm going to add the schedule in there also. But I have the roster. This is all predictions. And I've been doing this for the last... How long ago have I been doing this? 2019. Wait, 2017.
Oh, wow. So this be year
this would be
4?
Fourth year. Yep, fourth year. So wow. I am pumped for this. I am excited. I will send a tweet out in the next 20 minutes to point out, exactly what I'm doing with this. So I am definitely excited to do this. And thank you guys at the Untitled Sports Network for, giving me a place to do this crap, because it's great. It's great. It is.
You've been doing great. I mean, the article's been awesome. So,
hey, there you go. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Sports Cave. We'll be sure to now that I finally got this streaming software to work, I'll be sure to do this more and potentially do BS sessions on this crap eventually, which will be fun. Speaking of, Volume 18 with Michael McClintock of the Area Attack Podcast, recording soon. Thank you guys for joining us. See you guys God knows when. Oh, man. And then I gotta get the speaker view. What the hell? Oh, wait. Exit full screen. How do I do this? There we go.
Okay.
And stream.